Yo, today is August 20th, 2023, and looking at Hurricane Hilary, Tropical Storm Hilary for the ninth day. So, today, within the next 24 hours, it's going to make its pass over Los Angeles and Southern California, San Diego, Palm Springs. It's going to make its pass over the area that it's been forecast. So, let's look at what's going on. All right. Um, so a couple things to take note of here. There was an earthquake earlier in Ojai, California, which is right here. Uh, and specifically, I've been looking at this radar actually, interestingly enough. But there was a 5.0 earthquake. You can see this. There's the 5.0, and then there's a swarm of earthquakes. I mean, look, I think people want to pretend that this is all just, natural in the sense that there's not some kind of deity that has control over everything. I mean, it seems really unlikely that this is all going to happen at once, that there's like a you know, tropical storm, in the least a tropical storm, making a pass over Southern California at the same time that there's a decent sized earthquake along with a swarm in the Los Angeles area, along with there are tornado warnings. So I had made the joke after clicking on the tropical storm warning and the tropical storm watch that when you go down it says situation is unfavorable for tornadoes. Apparently that's not correct in all the areas that this is going to be over. So we can look, I believe. Um, Here, I'm gonna pull up Twitter real fast, just so I can pull up like an instance of the tornado warning. So here, just looking at everything here. If you pull it up, it's trending. So when we click it, it's tornado warning. I suppose it's in San Diego County. So Southern California right now. Pre-hurricane check, earthquake check, tornado check, sharknado pending, aliens pending. Uh, this person's saying, I got all three on a map: tornado warning, earthquake, tropical storm, all in Southern California. Apparently, the Sharknado is what people are betting on next. Um, I think it's very unlikely that all these things would coincide randomly. Um, and one of the things that I've said previously is I do think there's an element of humans affecting the climate, but I think Yahweh is changing the climate as and the weather just in general. He is controlling everything. And when you go to the end of the Bible and you look at Revelation, like the final judgment type stuff is literally absurd level weather stuff that would be like even alone would be impossible to say that 100 hailstones weighing a talent, which is somewhere between 75 to 100 pounds. That's not no amount of climate change is going to lead to that without some kind of deity doing that. But similarly, the earthquake stuff as well kind of dissuades any reasonable person, or should, from thinking that, oh hey, it's just climate change. If the earthquake and the other stuff that I believe I've shown, the volcanic stuff, and it just you know you have to be trying to not believe in reality to engage it like that. But whatever. Let's keep going here. But yeah, so just today in Southern California, tropical storm, earthquake, tornado warning, insane. Uh, we could look at where that is. That around here? So I don't see a warning. It might have already expired, but that, again, that would be outside of the norm for sure. Also, the radar coverage in Southern California, I think because of all the mountainous terrain, despite having several very close, like one, two, three, four, five, you know, larger radar stations, six, despite having this many, there's still like an issue with the way it renders these out. So you do have to. It is better actually to go to this multiple radar thing. But yeah, it's just raining. It's just raining over the area, and I expect it to keep raining. Let's look at. We don't have to look at the GFS anymore, but we'll look at the high res rapid refresh. Uh, and I guess we'll look at just the most recent run that is fully completed. So basically, there's just rain expected over Southern California for the next, like, I guess 20, pretty much 24 hours. I mean, some spots are going to have less. Uh, let's look at the total precipitation. So this is less precipitation than was expected. I will say that there's a flash flood warning here, and I think certain places I've already gotten up to above 2 inches and up to like over 3 inches. So certain places have already gotten that. So I'm not really sure how reasonable the total precipitation things is here. I don't actually think it's going to be that accurate in this situation. So when I was looking at it yesterday and it was saying, pretty outrageously high numbers, like this one is still gave, like when you look at this, like if this amount of rain was to happen, this would legitimately be, overwhelming. Like what 6.5+ inches over downtown San Diego, and you know 5.5 over downtown LA, but in the mountains anywhere from like 7 to 4.5 inches over the Hollywood Hills, and then 15 almost inches here, and same thing over here. This is like again off the chart when it does this, so I'm not sure that this is actually how much rain is gonna drop. So it's yet to be seen. But honestly, I think even small amounts, like I already saw that there's street flooding going on. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, I suppose rain is to be expected for the next several hours. Just I think it's just going to keep raining. But it does seem like it's moved over the area, or it's moving over the area pretty quickly. Um, as you can see, there's a lot of flash flood warnings, basically for LA and near San Diego, and definitely around Palm Springs. So, um, so you can see some localized flooding. So we'll see what happens. I mean, but it does seem like a lot of things happening at once with the earthquake and tornado warnings and stuff. And yeah, so I guess let's look at one more GFS run here. even though I said we wouldn't. um, so one thing that you might notice is a large amount of water moves over the Gulf, kind of just south of Houston. But something that I noticed and I wanted to show this is when you watch the 18Z of the high res rapid refresh, this looks like a semi organized storm kind of. I mean, it looks like this is starting rotation as it makes landfall. So it's kind of a tropical storm. Kind of like, I think if it was over the Gulf any longer, having started doing that, it would probably very quickly intensify, just because of how warm the waters are. But uh, because unlike California, all this water is like there's some of this water is literally 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So um, yeah, but yeah, okay. So it looks like what, I don't know. Rain is gonna continue. Probably, I guess the most intense part might be done by midnight, and then there it looks like you know as I had said previously, it looks like a lot of as it's pushing over the mountains, it's like squeezing water out of the clouds because a lot of the you can see the like this specific like what Turtle's Beak, Cucamonga Wilderness. Anyway, over these mountains here, or hills, whatever you want to call them, as the water's as it's pushing over, you can see it looks like it's squeegeeing some of the squeezing it out like a sponge. Okay. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. I'm gonna keep this video shorter than the previous video. It's an interesting experience. Definitely, be honest, I don't think this is the last time. Might be the first time in I don't know how many years, right? 80 something years, but I have a feeling like this won't be the last. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't really have anything else to add, so I hope you enjoyed. Plus one later. Yeah.